Mr. and Mrs. Donaldson lived on a lonely farm in the Middle West of America. They had one son, whom they loved more than life itself. He was everything to them, and all that they had was reckoned only as a trust for him. From the day Harold was born, father and mother resolved that they would try to give him the very best education possible. They thought maybe he might become a doctor, or a judge, or perhaps the President of the United States. Anyhow, Harold should have his chance. How could it be done? It would cost money to send the lad to college, much more than the farm could yield in any 1 year. So right from the start, they began to save up. As he sat by the fireside one evening, Father said, "Mother, I've decided to give up my basie, and every time I am tempted to send for an ounce or two, I'll take the money and put it in that vase on the mantelpiece." Mother thought a while, and presently, not to be outdone, she said, "All right, dear, then I'll give up my tea, and every time I am tempted to send for a packet, I'll take the money and put it in the same vase." "Good," said Father. "That's a bargain." So they made their compact, and the vase on the mantelpiece became their bank. The years rolled by, years of hard work, patient toil, and desperate self-sacrifice, but they never murmured. For was it not all for Harold, dear, dear Harold, joy of their hearts? Then at last the great day came, when Harold was old enough to go to college. How proud they were of him, dressed in a fine new suit. Then they parted. The last farewells were said, the last kisses exchanged. And Harold was gone, over the hills and far, far away. The leave-taking was particularly sad, because they would not see him for 5 long years. Every penny would be needed to keep the boy at college, so they didn't dare think of spending any on fares. 1 year passed, 2 years passed. Then one day Father said he couldn't wait any longer. "I must see the boy," he said. "He's been gone these 2 years now, and I can't wait another 3. "But remember how we need the money for him," said Mother. "I know," replied Father, "but it won't cost anything. I'll take the old farm cart and drive the whole way myself and sleep under haystacks and the stars at night." "You can't do that," said Mother. "I can," said Father. "I can do anything just to see our Harold." So he went over those same hills and far away, driving on and on and on, weary to death sometimes, but his heart beating with ever-growing joy at the thought of meeting Harold. At last, after many days, he drew near the university town where Harold was at college. He could see it in the distance, and even the horses seemed to be bound forward with fresh eagerness. So near now, so soon to meet his son. Now he was going down the main boulevard toward the college buildings. It did seem funny to be driving an old farm cart along such a beautiful street, but what did he care? He was thinking only of Harold and the joy of meeting him again. Where was he? Father's old head was bobbing from side to side, his keen eyes searching every group of laughing young people with one absorbing objective. Harold, Harold, where is he? Look! Yes, surely, that must be Harold, coming out of the main entrance hall with a crowd of jolly, carefree young men and women around him. Pride surged through the old man's heart. This was his own dear boy, grown to manhood, worth 1,000 times all the sacrifice they had made for him. "Harold! Harold, son!" High above the chatter and laughter rose the old man's cry. How eager it was, how full to overflow of a father's love. Everybody heard it, and seeing the old farm cart in front of the college building, burst out laughing. Harold heard it too. He turned and his face paled. Not a smile greeted the old man. Harold was ashamed of his father, sorry that his college friends should discover he came from such humble stock. Harold! There was something plaintive in the voice this time. Don't you know me, my boy? Yes, he knew, but he didn't want the others to know. You've made a mistake, he said coldly. Better take that old contraption out of here. Father's heart froze. Deathly pale, he turned the cart around, and amid the jeers of the onlookers drove away, back over the same old road. He went on and on, stunned and crushed, scarcely able to raise his head. Mother saw him coming and sensed at once that something was wrong. He seemed 20 years older. Dismounting and saying never a word, he went into the dining room and sat down in the old armchair near the mantelpiece, where the vase of sacrifice stood still, a silent witness to the price of love. Realizing that something terrible must have happened, Mother went quietly about the house, preparing a meal, hoping that soon he would recover himself. Suddenly, an awful sound fell on her ears. A groan of anguish, followed by a thud of something falling. She ran in, and there on the hearth lay Father, dead. Died of a broken heart, people said. Killed by base ingratitude, was the true verdict. Sad? Terribly sad, wasn't it? Yet, how often it happens that the tender love and patient sacrifice of parents are forgotten and despised by unworthy children. I once told this story in a little church in Wales. After the meeting, an old bearded man came up to me and said, "How true it is. This very thing happened in my own town not long ago. A father I know lavished every kindness on his son, finally setting him up in business at great expense to himself. Then one day, after the son was doing well, the father went in from the country to see him. The young man had some important business friends present at the time, so he whispered in his father's ear, 'Don't let them know you are my father.' It fairly broke the old man's heart, and within a few weeks, he died." Which makes me wonder, how are you treating your parents? Are you ever ashamed of them? Do you honor them as you should for the love they have poured out on you? Have you ever thought how much money they might have had? How easy a life might have been for them, but for you? How you should love them now, ere it be forever too late, so that you have no regret after the great reaper has passed and the old home is empty and desolate. What does the good old book say? Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Exodus 20,